I have had a week, and this is where again the armor, it's so funny because all week I've been talking about armor. And I had someone jump in on some content that I shared over on my Facebook personal page. It was meant as a joke, all right, about cauliflower not tasting like potatoes, being fact checked. Okay, it's a joke. I am a nutrition coach. I actually teach a low carb lifestyle. And this particular person decided to jump in to school me on why people eat cauliflower. And I'm like, no shit, Linda. I teach this. But hey, and there's where the armor comes from. We are so busy not only being judged by others, but we judge ourselves with the same thing. And as a result, a lot of us just shrink down and we fall into that whole fine mentality. So today we are talking about that. So, hey friend, happy Free Coaching Friday. So grab yourself your coffee, your brain juice. If you're a tea drinker, sorry, but whatever. Because today we are going there. All right. So today we are talking about the armor we wear to look fine when we're really just holding it together with caffeine, mascara, and a prayer. I know you know what I mean. You know, the nails, the hair, the makeup, the humor. Some days it's self care, other days it's self protection. If that one hits, drop me a coffee cup in the chat. Oh, so I know I'm not the only one who polishes her armor before she faces the day. And that's why for me coming with to you like this without all of that, that's a lot. All right. You know, I've talked a lot about my struggle with the BFRB nail picking specifically. Last week I went live, had my nails all done promptly 3 days later, picked them all off. I know about armor, okay? Um, so that fine, that smile you paste on when you'd rather crawl under a blanket, it's heavy. And if you're not careful, it's going to keep you from feeling alive. So earlier this week, kind of we talked about this a little bit. I caught myself doing it again. All right. I was tired. My to-do list was getting ridiculous. And I felt like it was one of those, if I was one of those, how are you doing moments? Just one more. If one more person asked me, how are you? I was going to start crying, busting down crying. All right. Because I was not. I was barely holding it together. Kind of ripped my nails off again. I had one night where I had maybe 3 hours sleep. And instead of slowing down, you know, I'd just get up, I'd do my hair, I'd throw on some mascara and tell myself, you got this, girl. And for a minute, I did feel better. And that's the tricky part. Armor does work until it doesn't. And halfway through the day, I realized her, the polished version of me I had just put together, it wasn't me. It was my presentation, my protection, my performance. That's when I realized armor, it isn't always bad. It's just not supposed to be permanent. You know, so if you think back, those, again, we'll just use those Roman soldiers. Yes, it was their protection. It wasn't permanent. They didn't live in it. There's a point where we do need to take our armor off. All right. And a lot of us don't. We just live in that armor as our protection, as our bubble, right? And I know a lot of you feel this. I saw it in your comments this week. I made a post asking about our armor. One of you said it was jewelry or lip color to help you fit in. Another said it was being funny as one of your safety zones. I feel that one too. Another one, armor looks different on everyone, but it all serves the same purpose, to protect. So, hey, for those of you who don't know me, Hey, Cheryl Miller here. I am your Jesus loving, coffee drinking hot mess turned certified nutrition and wellness coach. And I help women who are tired of pretending they're fine finally stop hiding and start feeling alive again with energy, confidence, and unapologetic living. Because, friend, you don't have to look fine to live free. All right. So, if you've been following me along, you know we're going to go somewhere with all this. We don't put on armor unless we've been hit before. That I'm fine voice, that humor, that over functioning, it's proof you've been through something. So before we judge it, can we just thank it? I know you're like, say what? Your armor, it kept you safe when you needed it most. It kept you showing up when showing up was the bravest thing you could do. It kept you going when quitting would have been easier. And just like battle gear, it's not supposed to be worn forever. Some of us, we've been walking through peacetime still dressed for war, emotionally tense, mentally tired, and spiritually guarded. We've armored up for battle that ended years ago. And here's the part no one talks about: letting your guard down feels unsafe at first because your nervous system, it's been trained to expect impact. And that's why when someone says, just relax, you're safe now, your body doesn't believe it yet. That's okay. Healing takes retraining, not just prayer. God heals in layers, and this is just one of them. So let's be honest. Keeping up the fine act is exhausting. Fine takes more energy than honesty ever will. You know those days when you're running on autopilot? You're smiling at everyone despite being falling apart. You're being the dependable one. And then suddenly you're crying over the car over something dumb like your iPhone battery dying. All right, that's not weakness, that's overflow. And that's your armor cracking under the weight of holding it all together. It's okay if you've been there. I've been there too, more than once. And here's a question that I have started asking myself. Is this still protecting me or is it preventing me? Protecting me from chaos? Great. Preventing me from connecting? Not so great. Because when we stay armored up for too long, we start isolating ourselves from the very peace we're praying for. You can't heal what you're still hiding behind, right? You can't connect deeply if you're only ever showing your polished version of yourself. Some of you are exhausted, not because you're doing too much, but because you're doing too much pretending. You don't have to drop it all at once. All right. Healing isn't an all or nothing moment, it's process. All right. It's a process. And you're going to have people who are watching and they are criticizing because they don't want you to change. They like the version of you that's easily controllable. It's okay to forgive and not allow access. Forgiveness is about you. So you can forgive and still say access denied. Little side note there. Maybe today, your version of taking off the armor is actually saying, actually, I'm not okay right now. Maybe it's skipping the makeup and showing up anyway. Maybe it's admitting you're tired. Not weak, not lazy, just tired. I actually had this moment today. I had a friend who reached out to me because I had been really quiet in some groups that I'm normally very active in. And part of her was like, I have a hair on my face. Part of her was like, no, It's not my business. Thankfully, she pushed through that. She actually reached out and she was like, "Are you okay?" And without thinking, my automatic response was, "I'm fine." Now I caught that. I circled back and I'm like, "Actually, I'm not okay right now. But thank you for asking." Now, was there anything she could do? No, I have to push through. And sometimes showing up means doing what we don't feel like. And believe me, when you're running on 3 hours sleep and struggling on fine and feeling like you're a rubber band wound too tight, you don't really feel like doing the things. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're just tired. So you can keep your lipstick and drop your mask. You can love Jesus and need a nap. You can be confident and still crave quiet because freedom isn't about having it all together. It's about being okay with the parts of you that are still coming together. So, to my family member who's over there screenshotting my background to blow it up to talk about what a hot mess my place is and what is Cheryl doing now, here y'all go. Screenshot away. I am not perfect. I am not polished, but I am becoming and I am not being held back anymore. Because when I stopped performing confidence and started feeling it, my energy shifted. That's when my wellness started to mean something deeper because wholeness isn't just vitamins and workout, it's emotional honesty. And sometimes it's getting rid of that emotional baggage that's holding you back. God talks about the armor of faith, and that's different from the armor we're building for ourselves. All right. His armor doesn't hide you, it reveals who you really are underneath the fear. When you wear his armor, you're not defending your reputation. You're protecting your peace. You're not pretending you're fine. You're noting something bigger than your feelings. The enemy wants you exhausted behind fake confidence. God wants you free, laughing again, living light, and showing up unfiltered. He's not waiting for the polished version of you. He's waiting for the present one. So tell me in the comments, what's one piece of armor that's been heaviest for you? Is it humor, control, perfectionism, staying busy? Let's name it so we can release it. Because when you name your armor, you start reclaiming your peace. Okay. If this conversation has hit home, this is exactly what we unpack inside the unapologetic you. It's only $1. I know, crazy, right? It's where I first learned how to drop the fine act without dropping my faith. And for my wellness friends, you already know living well isn't just about supplements, protein, or traveling. It's the kind of peace that makes it all actually mean something. Because freedom isn't just a vacation, it's a daily decision. So here's your free Coaching Friday challenge, all right? Find one piece of armor that you can lay down this week and replace it with grace because you were never meant to hide behind fine. You were meant to live free. All right, y'all, until next week, have a fantastic day. Bye.